everybody. For the next minutes or so, I'm going to talk about how to design a UI component kit with Ember. So my name is Frédéric Soumare. You can find me on the internet with the handle Hakilebara on GitHub and Twitter. As you can hear, I'm from France. I work and live in Paris in a startup called Conto, where I use ember.js every day in a team of 7 to 8 people to build the front-end app of an online banking system for small and medium-sized businesses. So today I would like to talk to you about what I have learned on building a UI kit with Ember. So first, what is a UI component kit? You already know many of them. There's Bootstrap from Twitter, Zurb has Foundation, Google has Material. They're great, they do good, they're stable, they're well maintained, and they're free. So why not use them? Why build your own? First, because you can. It used to be really hard to have a suite of responsive cross-browser UI components. But now with Flexbox and CSS Grid being available on all evergreen browsers, it's easier than before for evergreen browsers. Next is branding. As Kavita said, user experience is key, and it has to be unique. I like to think of user experience as a theater play, a stage play, where the audience, the users are the audience, a very participative and engaged audience. And we, the designers, the front-end developers, we are still in control of the narrative. So, and all the elements, the buttons, the scroll lists, the navbars, they are part of the symbols, the metaphors we use to tell engaging stories to the users. But in order to, if you want to follow this path, we have to be consistent. We have to tell the same story on multiple apps, on multiple devices, and the component has to be reusable. We don't want to copy-paste code across apps, across engines. That would be a waste of time and of energy, and it's error-prone. So now that we are fired up to create our own component kit, how do we do it? The good news is it's easy with Ember. We are going to leverage the Ember CLI and Ember add-ons. I like to think of Ember add-ons as NPM packages on steroids, like with super Ember powers that allows them to hook in your app and inject components, style, functionality, or even customize your build pipeline. So this is what we're going to build. We're going to create a UI kit that contains a small button and some style. So let's go. So the first thing to create an add-on is to run this command, an Ember CLI command, Ember add-on, name of the add-on, options. So this is a fake live demo. So I type Ember add-on. I'm going to call it my UI kit. And I specify that I want to use Yarn as my dependency management system instead of NPM, because I like it better. And this is the app we are going to inject the UI kit into. It's a basic Ember app that I call my awesome app. So the add-on is generated. It created a folder called My UI Kit. There's a lot of files in it, but 4 of them are interesting, and I want to talk about them. They need their add-on. The add-on folder will contain the template and the JS of the button. The app folder is interesting. Actually, it will contain the export statement of the code in add-on and inject it in the namespace of your Ember app. So in the Ember app, we will be able to use the button seamlessly. The test dummy folder, you have to know that every Ember add-on that you create comes with a full-fledged Ember app baked in. This is used for testing and also for documentation, as we'll see later. And package.json, if we are so proud of our UI kit that we're going to build that we want to put it on GitHub and share it to the world, package.json is a place where we will define the name of the project, the versioning, and the licensing, and all the dependencies. Next, we need to create the button in the add-on. There's a command for that too. It's just Ember generates a component that I call xButton. I have to be inside first. Voila. Those are the files that were generated. In add-on, we have the code of the button, the template, the JS. An integration test has been generated for us, a dummy one. And there's a statement in /app that will merge our namespace of the UI kit into the application namespace. So in my application, my awesome application, I can directly call xButton as a component, and it will work. Another trick, something I like to use is to link the app and the add-on. Basically, what it does, it's just install the add-on in the app locally. So those are the steps. I need to define in my app the UI kit as a dependency. Since the UI kit add-on is using a component that has a template, I have to use HTML bars as a dependency of the add-on. Another thing is that I like to use live reloading when I develop an add-on. So if I use this function inside the index.js of my add-on, what's going to happen is that I can make change on the add-on, and the Ember app will reload with the change I made on the add-on. So let's try it. So here, up, if I define, I have a button defined in my add-on. This is my Ember app. I say, hey, show me the button, and it's here. Yeah. Thank you. And next, we want some styling. And styling is easy with Ember. How do I create a set of styling that I can share across apps and engines? Again, it's easy with Ember. I like to use Sass. There's an add-on for it called Ember CLI Sass that I will install on both my app and on the add-on. The install steps are quite straightforward. I won't go into details, but what I want to do is define a Sass file on my add-on and then be able to call it in my Ember app. So I import the style of my add-on. And there it is. The button has styling now. You can also see that I added a different typography. It was Helvetica, it's Roboto now, I think. So what I like about this is that potentially I could override CSS, Sass variables of my add-on. Potentially, I could export different files from the add-on, one for a separate theme, and then choose to use one or the other in my Ember app. So I think that's pretty useful. So that's it. We have a UI component with a button and some styling. But as I add components inside my UI kit, how do I organize them? How do I visualize them? Again, there's an add-on for that. And that's Ember CLI add-on docs, which is a really great add-on. It leverages the dummy app I talked at the beginning, the test/dummy, to create something like this. So this is the documentation of the add-on. So the add-on is using Ember CLI add-on docs to generate its own documentation. So that's what it looks like. You have markdown files to generate as much content as you want. You can define your own routes. There's a really nice list of features. This is a command to install it. You have auto-generated API reference. If you install a comment parser, like UIDoc or ESDoc, all your comments will be automatically converted into an API reference. You have code snippets, live demos, versioning, and search. So finally, I'd like to show you a real-life example of this, which is the Ember style guide. The style guide started as a set of UI components, and there was an effort to convert it into an Ember style guide app. So what is the Ember style guide? It's a UI kit that provides styling components to different Ember community apps, like the guides, the deprecation app. So this is what it looks like. The footer here, the header, the navbar, everything is here. So everything is documented and reusable. So every time the community wants to build a new community app and want to leverage the work that has already been done on other apps, everything is documented here, and it can be installed and reused. So this is how a way we can have a consistent user experience across apps within the same community. And this is also what we are using at Conto to have the same experience based on components that we can reuse and share across our different applications. So that's all for me. It's been 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Yeah. If you have any questions.